Greetings everyone, we are the third group of STEM Euler and we are going to present to you a Korean traditional game also known as Jegichagi. Jegichagi is a Korean traditional game in the hacky-sack or shuttlecock family. It is played by kicking a shuttlecock-like object called a jegi. It is a seasonal game associated with the Lunar New Year holidays and wintertime in general. It is commonly played by children.
The origin of the game Jegichagi. According to the memorabilia of the Three Kingdoms or Samguk-yusa, a collection of Korean historical legends, Goguryeo people was good at Kuju. Kuju is an ancient Chinese ball-kicking game which is also an ancestor game to soccer. It was probably introduced to Korea at an early date as there are mentions of the game in Goguryeo during the Three Kingdoms period. The game was eventually developed to be Jegichagi, a popular traditional game in Korea. It was traditionally played during winter period, especially during Lunar New Year.
The objective of Jegichagi is keeping up a jegi, which is a small object in the shape of a shuttlecock with a folded paper and a base as a coin from hitting the ground. It can be played individually or in a group setting, with varying levels of competition.
Second, if played by one person, the objective is to kick the jagi as many times as you can and to keep it as many times in the air without letting it hit the ground.
In a group game, the members of a team would stand in a circle and would cooperatively kick the shuttlecock or the jagi to prevent it from falling to the ground in order for the team to win.
In Korea, children usually play alone or with friends in winter seasons, especially on Lunar New Year.
In a one-to-one game, a player with the most number of consecutive kicks wins. In a group game, the players stand in a circle and take turns kicking the jegi.
Jegichagi, a Korean traditional outdoor game, requires wide open spaces to accommodate expansive movements of players as they kick and catch the jegi to prevent it from touching the ground.
An open area allows players to maximize their movements and perform their tricks and techniques that are otherwise restricted in confined spaces.
In creating the jagi, you will be needing a table cover or plastic bags, 5 coins or any tiny items with similar weight, paper towel, rubber bands, and scissors. First is cut a 9x9 square from your table cover or plastic bag. Then wrap 4 to 5 coins or any tiny materials with the same weight in a paper towel. You can experiment with the weight of the coins for your personal preference, and then place the coins along one edge of the square in the center.
Next, roll the square up, keeping the coins in the center. Take a rubber band and tie the rolled square down near the coins and use a scissor to cut folded part of the square into strips about 1/8 inch. And then, you're ready to play Jegichagi.
Keep one foot on the ground and kick the jegi into the air with your ankle. Try not to fall jegi down. Then see how many times you can kick it. In a one-to-one game, a player with the most consecutive kicks wins. In a group game, the players stand in a circle and take turns kicking the jegi. A player must not let it drop to the ground for him or her not to lose the game and not to receive a penalty.
There are many ways that a player can play Jegichagi, such as using the inner side of the foot to kick jegi, while the other foot balances the body, which is called hyolangi, and upchagi, which uses the top of the foot to kick jegi. The player who kicks jegi the most times without it falling is the winner.
Now for the values and benefits we can get from playing Jegichagi, it improves legs' muscular strength, it improves agility, it also improves concentration, it prevents obesity, and it improves patience and stamina. The fact that Jegichagi uses muscles you rarely use stimulates the brain coordinated to those rarely used parts. Especially, the movement of right and left side of the body equally uses the right and left brain. Also, which side of the foot you use to kick jegi gives various health benefits to your body. When you use the inner part of your foot, it benefits your kidney, liver, and spleen. Furthermore, when you use the outer part of the foot, it benefits your bladder and stomach.
One of the values in playing Jegichagi is that it keeps the popularity of the game, which starts to fade as the modern time progresses. Since Jegichagi is part of the tradition and culture of the Korean, it will retain its purpose and pass it to the next generation.
Jegichagi is like a Korean version of the Filipino game called Takyan or Sipa. Just like Takyan or Sipa, the goal of the Jegichagi game is to keep the jegi, which is an object made with a paper and a coin, in the air for as long as possible. When playing this game, you can also make some variations to make it more interesting, just like passing the jagi from one person to another without dropping it while standing on a circular formation, or using the top of your foot instead of using the inside of your foot when kicking the jagi.
Traditional games such as Jegichagi may be losing its popularity in South Korea, but thanks to Koreans who continue playing it, its relevance in health and in culture is being revitalized with the purpose of educating young people. It entertains an individual or a group while being beneficial to one's health. This must continue since it brings smiles on people's faces, honoring their cultures as their identities.